Have you ever noticed how much easier and how much smoother your read goes for a script before you hit the record button? Once you hit the record button, all bets are off. Well, it's just part of the human condition. We've all experienced it, and I'll give you a suggestion or two as to how you can overcome that on this week's DeWeese Directive. I'm Bill DeWeese. Thank you for checking out this video, and if you haven't yet, please subscribe to this channel as I provide you with strategies and tips and business information and to help you get the right mindset, the knowledge and the mindset to be successful as a working voiceover talent. And today I want to address an email that I received from Chris Harp. And Chris asks a very good question, and here's what Chris has to say in his email. It seems that every time I practice a script, whether I do it while driving in the car or I'm in front of the computer ready to hit the record button, I seem to sound better before and after I'm in front of the mic. I have confidence in my ability to do VOs, but it seems that every now and then when I hit that record button, there seems to be a last barrier of anxiety that I can't seem to notice or even get past. My mind and body just doesn't seem to want to replicate the moment of practice. Ever been there? Absolutely. We all have been there, and it's common to the human condition. The best analogy that I can think of is if you play golf, and by the way, if you don't worry, as I will explain this in more detail, but if you've ever taken golf lessons, oftentimes an instructor will tell you not to swing at the ball, but to swing to the target. Most golfers, most amateur golfers, are focused on that little white ball and trying to strike the ball. So everything is done, every physical movement, every thought prior to the swing is trying to hit that little white ball. Whereas a better golfer knows that if he does that, or if she does that, her mind will get in the way, and she will have a much more difficult time getting the ball to the hole, whereas the person who swings toward the target and just allows the ball to get in the way of the club head will have a much better chance of hitting the shot that they want to hit. It can be likened to the phrase, you can't see the forest for the trees. It's a matter of becoming focused on what's here instead of focused on what's out there. The goal, the objective, if you will. So the problem is this. When you're practicing, when you're reading a script casually in a car, you may be reading a billboard, which I often do as well. You read a commercial, or you're sitting in your studio and there's no pressure, and you just pull out a script and you look through it a few times and then you read it and you think, that was pretty good. And then as soon as you hit record and get behind the microphone, all bets are off. It turns into a completely different experience. It's because that our human nature, because of the flow of adrenaline and a bit of performance anxiety, and we may not define it as anxiety because it's not that we're afraid or terrified. It's just that little bit of adrenaline that causes us to tense up and to immediately focus on the performance and not on the goal or the objective. So simply put, to get over or to work through this problem, and it's something that you'll always have to be mindful of because, again, it's human nature to go into performance mode and to be short-sighted instead of long-sighted. So if you want to get past this anxiety and this mental barrier that you have and physical barrier of giving a great read, focus on the goal. Look at the forest, not the trees right in front of your face. In other words, who's your audience? Who are you talking to? What's the script trying to say? What's the objective? What's the emotion that you want to convey to the person who's listening to this message? Those are the things to be in touch with, because once you begin just to look at those words and you think about trying to say the words properly and you're thinking about, am I sounding good? Am I doing this properly? That's when you mentally and physically tie yourself up to the place where you don't give your best read. But when you don't do that and you just relax and you think big picture, you think objective, goal, again, who am I talking to? What's the purpose? What am I trying to communicate here? That's when the read becomes effortless, when it sounds effortless. We all know it's not effortless. A lot of work goes into this, but it sounds effortless because you're focused on communicating meaning. You're in context. When you're looking at the trees, you're not in context. When you're looking at the forest, then you have perspective and you have context. And that is precisely the way that you can give your best read behind the microphone. Hey, thanks again for checking out the video. I hope you'll share this throughout your social networks, and I look forward to the opportunity of talking to you again very, very soon.